One of the ideas that came up in a conversation recently, and that I've kind of witnessed myself, is this sense that that our selves, our consciousness, our being, is somehow behind your eyes. Behind your eyes. I guess it came up first in this video that emblemOFbeing made, which I thought was really great actually. He set these two puzzles, one of which was to turn your hand over without rotating your wrist, and the other which was this, I can't do it because I'm holding a camera with one hand, but basically you hold your both hands up in front of you with your finger at different removes. So as you can imagine, my left hand is about here, and then you hold your right hand here, and you ask the question, or you get somebody else to do it, and you ask the question, which hand is closest to you? And people will almost invariably say, in this case, it would be the left hand, which would be about here, as opposed to the right hand, which is about here. But when you're doing that, what you're doing is or when you're making that response, you're basically making a visual claim, or you're claiming for the proximity or the relationship of self to the visual, really. This is closer to my eyes, this is further away from my eyes. That's the claim that's being made. When yourself, if you identify self as body, which I guess you do, is all the way over, including in your fingers. So both fingers are as close to yourself in as much as they embody yourself as each other. So it came up there, and it came up in a conversation I had with Do Not God, in which he was talking about consciousness being experienced as behind the eyes, and sort of projecting mind onto the world. That's the kind of image from that, or projecting the appearance of world onto the world out through the eyes. And it is a really compelling sensation, which doesn't mean to say it's true, but it certainly does feel like you exist behind your eyes. And I'm just thinking about the relationship of that, or what the impact on that intuitive sense is by the fact that the brain is behind your eyes. Because it could be somewhere else, and I think in other cultures at other times the brain has been, the thinking organ, if you like, has been thought of in different places in the body. I know some societies located thinking in the belly, or have located it in the heart, or have located it in different places actually, so different kind of thinking goes on in different parts of the body. And of course some ideas locate thinking outside the body entirely, and this whole thing is a kind of channeling process, which I'm not going to go into at all really. But most people, certainly in the West, and certainly with any kind of introduction to neuroscience or any kind of pop psychology stuff, it's this idea that the brain and the mind are supervenients upon one another, that the mind is what the brain does, and that's absolutely fine. I'm sure that's to a large extent the case. But the fact that the brain is located behind the eyes, I think, does this additional thing of locating this. I'm not sure this makes sense or not. Of kind of locating the sense of self in the brain. I mean, I'm not saying the brain doesn't produce it, of course. Light bulbs produce light, but that doesn't make the light in the light bulb. And I think there's a sense in which that's kind of true of the brain self-consciousness thing as well. I feel myself to be located behind my eyes. My brain is behind my eyes, therefore I am located in my brain. It has an inevitability about it. But as I say, other cultures have placed it elsewhere, and that's interesting. I mean, the contact I'm making with it, I did some work on this a couple of years ago, and then again last year. And I'll if I remember, I'll post a link to a video that I made involving this experiment. It was a kind of out-of-body experiment. There's been a lot of stuff done on out-of-body experiences, but one of the experiments that I kind of reproduced in a different form was to get one of these sets of goggles, video goggles, that you can wear, cover your face up here, and attach that to a camera. And in the case of the one that I did, I had the camera fixed on a pole that was over my shoulder, so that I could see the back of my head. I don't know if you could visualise that. So the signal from the camera came through the wires to the video goggles. That was a version of an idea, but it's been done in different ways. But one of the experiences that I had doing that, and basically what I would do is I would kind of walk around, with the video camera and see myself and do this kind of thing. One of the experiences I had is where I was. I still felt as if I was behind my eyes, but obviously, well, maybe it's not entirely obvious, but since I could see myself in front, I couldn't locate myself in my body, if you know what I mean. So it's a kind of disembodiment. It's a technologically induced out-of-body experience. I mean, there's nothing terribly dramatic about that, it's just how it works. But the point is that I could see the organ, the part of the body, my head, which contained my brain. So I wasn't feeling that. My sense of myself, my location of I, wasn't where my brain was. It was in a different place. Go on, you two. It was floating in space somewhere over my shoulder again. Somewhere still behind my eyes though. That sense of it being visual was still very, very strong. There's no conclusion to this video actually. I don't know why I started talking about this. But just that coincidence that the brain is behind the eyes and the eyes seem to produce the most compelling sense of a located self is I'm sure a significant factor in how we understand ourselves and how we understand the relationship between ourself and thinking and neuroscience and brain science and psychology and embodiment.